Hi, welcome to A4H Financial Coaching. I'm Jordan Mitchell, your financial coach, and it's week 4 now of PLD. So, first week we talked about the HELOC, which as you have watched over these last 3 weeks, now 4, you know I hate, and bankruptcy, which I hate, and then last week was going to college without a plan, which I hate, and now number 4, do not, I repeat, do not ever lend money to family. And here we go. First, think of all the relationships in a family. You have parents to kids, you have grandparents to grandkids, you have aunt and uncles to nieces and nephews, brothers to sisters, spouse to spouse. Okay? Don't ever lend money. Okay, doesn't mean don't help them out. If you've got a family member who's in need and you have the means to help them, then by all means give them a gift. But wait a second. If I give them a gift, doesn't that mean that I lose all control over that money? Couldn't they use it for something else? They could. Won't that disappoint me as their uncle or as their parent? Yeah, it will. Yes, it will. But I'll tell you what is going to be worse is when you lend that person money and they don't pay you back. Because then at every single family gathering where you see this person, the first question you're going to say is, where's the $5,000 that you owe me? And if you don't say it, then you'll be passive aggressive and you'll just stare awkwardly until they know what you're thinking. Okay? Do not lend money to family. You can give it as a gift. Absolutely. Okay? And that's part of the best part about family is that we can help each other out. That 15-passenger van that my wife and I paid cash for. It was $26,000 in cash that we paid. The guy at the dealership was like, "Are you rich?" I'm like, "Well, not anymore. I just paid 26 grand for a van." That was a team effort. Team Mitchell, and then my grandmother helped us out quite a bit on that one. So Grams, I know you're not watching because you're not on Facebook, but thank you for helping us with the van. Okay. What happens is when we lend money between family members, we typically, I would say 99% of the cases I've talked to people about or have seen examples of, there's one issue that it really is the root of all the problem. And that is it's not done legally. It's just a handshake or verbally, I'll give you the $5,000, pay me back over the next few years. Okay, now, do we want to like that idea with families? Should we be able to trust our family members to repay us that loan? Yes. But I'm telling you right now, this is the number one mistake that people are making when it comes to loaning money to family. So, recap real quick. Don't loan money to family. It really just puts a strain on all sorts of relationships, and then that relationship will strain the rest of them. To the point where you're not going to really want to hang out with people because you're going to see your Nimrod son who owes you $5,000. This is not my dad and I. We're good. But you're going to see that Nimrod son of yours, and you just can't believe that he took your $5,000, didn't even use it for the thing he was supposed to use it for, and now, he's not paying you back, and you know that because he was supposed to pay you back in 3 years, and it's 6 years later. You don't want that type of anger and frustration in family. You really don't. There's enough other things going on in the world that we don't need our own families breaking apart. Okay, we're big family people here over at the Mitchells, and we love our family, and we wouldn't want anything to get in the way of that. So feel free to give a gift. Now, let's say you're at a point where you could loan somebody the money that they need, but you need to get paid back, right? You don't have the amount in savings or anything that you could just give an outright gift, okay? There's still hope. Remember, we inject hope into all financial situations. So I'm going to post a nice little chart for you. It's I think only 3 questions to ask, should I lend this person money? Question number 1, do I trust this individual? Okay? And I know that's a hard question to sometimes come to terms with when it's our own children or a niece or nephew or an aunt and uncle, because sometimes the money loaning goes the other way. Do I trust this person to pay me back? If the answer is no, then you should not loan that person money because guess what? Your gut's right. You're not getting paid back. You're not. Okay. Second, am I willing to sign a legal document and make this other person sign a legal document to make this an official transaction? Well, why would we need to do that? Well, because when you don't get paid back, that's question number 3. Are you willing to sue this individual to get your money back? But it's my son. It's my nephew. It's my niece. It's my uncle. Well, if you pass one and they're trustworthy, then they'll pay you back. But if they're not trustworthy, they're not going to pay you back. And even if they are trustworthy, they might continue getting into financial troubles where they can't pay you back. So what are you going to do? Are you going to just say, hey, just treat it like a loan and call it good? Which is why I suggest that you just donate it in the first place, give it freely in the first place, because the loan just makes things, debt just ruins life. Let's just be honest, debt just ruins life. Or are you really going to take your uncle or your nephew to court with this signed document that says, I lent you $5,000, you had 5 years to pay me back, we're past that amount, and then you're going to put it in the court's hands to figure out what needs to happen. Okay? I know for me, personally, I would just give the gift. And I know it might even be harder, and at that point, maybe it really isn't, the wisest thing for me to do with my money, but if someone's in need, I would give it as a gift, because anytime that we loan, anytime that we give debt, that just ruins life. So, needless to say, don't lend money to family. Please, for your own sake and your family's sake and Christmas dinner's sake, don't lend money to family. And if you currently have an outstanding loan to a family member, then figure out what you need to do to pay it. And if one of your family members owes you money, then I would suggest either, 1, going and just telling that person, I'm forgiving this debt, you don't have to pay me back. Or 2, this is where we have to have a full sit down with somebody and just say, hey, we loaned, I know we don't have a document to prove it, but this is what we did, but it's going to be rocky. So give always, right? Because as Christians, we're called to give, but don't loan, because loan makes things messy. So PLD number 4, loaning money to family. Just don't do it. Have a lovely day. God bless.